LeighTDickey.com. What's going on, everybody? Leigh Dickey here. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Beats and Speaks podcast. Today, I might be a little early according to some of you, but I'm also the guy that celebrates this holiday 365 days a year, upside down, inside out, forwards, backwards, and sideways, with my eyes closed, wearing a blindfold, and tied to the evergreen tree. Today, we are talking Christmas. Yes, I know it is November 15th. We're getting into that time of year. And today, I present to you my interview with Sarah and Mia of Festive Films on Instagram. We talk everything Christmas, their traditions, what Christmas is like, where they're from, and they are in the UK, in Yorkshire, England. So it's cool to go back and forth with them. It was cool to go back and forth with them to set up this interview, and it was cool to find out what their traditions are, what things are like where they're from around Christmas time, their favorite films, of course, their favorite songs, everything and anything. We talk everything and anything Christmas with Sarah and Mia of Festive Films. Of course, you can follow them at festive_films on Instagram, but I will post all that information below. Now that you know a little bit about my guest, I will tell you about where you can find me, Leigh Dickey, your host, and this show, the Beats and Speaks podcast. You can find the Beats and Speaks podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, your favorite podcast app and player of choice, as well as my official website, LeighTDickey.com. If you'd like to be a future guest on the Beats and Speaks podcast, email me at LeighTDickey, that's LeighTDickey @gmail.com, and we can set something up and go from there, so you and I can have a good old-fashioned conversation, and you can find yourself and listen to yourself and hear yourself on a future episode of the Beats and Speaks podcast. Everyone has a story. I just help them tell it. So you and I, let's go back and forth. Let's have a good old-fashioned conversation, tell stories, find out a little about you, and you can find out a little more about me, and you can find yourself and listen to yourself and hear yourself right here on a future episode of the Beats and Speaks podcast. We're also on YouTube as well under Leigh Dickey TV. Of course, all those links will be in the description below. Please comment, like, share, subscribe, and leave reviews on iTunes or your favorite podcast app and player of choice. You can also leave reviews on my official Facebook page, which is facebook.com/LeighTDickey, or you can go to the Beats and Speaks podcast landing page on my official website, LeighTDickey.com, and leave comments and reviews under your favorite episode of choice right then and right there. And I will feature them on my official website, LeighTDickey.com, as well as read them out right here on the Beats and Speaks podcast. So now you know where to find my guest, or my guests, Sarah and Mia of Festive Films on Instagram, and you know where to find me and the Beats and Speaks podcast. So with all that housekeeping out of the way, let's get you right to the main event. The main event is my interview with Sarah and Mia of Festive Films on Instagram, and we talk anything and everything Christmas. So here you go, right now. Here it is, my interview with Sarah and Mia of Festive Films, right now, right here on the Beats and Speaks podcast.
Hi, this is Sarah and Mia from the Instagram Festive Films, and we are listening to the Beats and Speaks with Leigh Dickey.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, of course, I am your host, Leigh Dickey, and this is another episode of the Beats and Speaks podcast. And you know that this is a general interest, comedy, entertainment, anything and everything under the sun type of show. And since it is November and talking about Christmas is completely legal, don't stick your lawyers on me, please. I am joined today by the curators and creators of one of my favorite Christmas and holiday themed accounts on Instagram. I am joined today all the way from England by Sarah and Mia, the creators and curators of Festive Films. So Sarah and Mia, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for coming on the show this week.
Hi, and thanks, Leigh. Thank you.
How this came about is I reached out because, like I said, talking about Christmas in November is completely legal without being stared at like a complete weirdo, as most people tend to look at me that way year round. It doesn't really matter. But since it is November and we're getting into the the holiday time of year, I wanted to have Sarah and Mia on the show, the creators of Festive Films, to talk about festive films and why it started, their passion, their love for Christmas. So, Sarah, Mia, if you could explain to us the creation of Festive Films and why you started Festive Films and what it's all about.
Basically, we absolutely love Christmas in our household, and we love watching Christmas movies on a Sunday and what have you together. And it was just what we wanted to share our passion of Christmas movies and Christmas TVs with other people, and maybe they can watch movies that we like, and bit of back and forth really. We really like Instagram as a platform to see people's ideas, what people like to watch, what people like to eat, etc. And we just thought we'd have a go ourselves.
And I suppose that's mainly how it all starts. You're passionate about something, you love something, and then social media basically makes the entire world local nowadays. And with the click of a mouse or, an app on your phone, you can connect to people all over the world. Can I ask, let's go back and forth. So Sarah, your love of Christmas, like where does that start? Aside from like the movies and festive films, where does your passion and love for Christmas really start?
Just from being a child really, like my parents loved Christmas, and it's just about spending time together. My parents both had quite busy jobs, so Christmas was a time of year where your grandparents came round and your aunties and uncles, and you just spent time together really. And luckily my husband, he loves Christmas a bit more than I do, which I didn't think was possible. And it's just grown from there. We've sort of turned our house into a bit of a Santa's grotto. We go all over to see like Father Christmas and garden centres with Christmas decoration, and there's a local house about 30 miles away from us, and they decorate the house a bit like what you do in America, and have lights and music to Christmas. But in England we don't really do that as often, so it's really nice to go and drive to go and see this house and just feel Christmassy really.
Well, maybe you guys should start the trend where you guys, set up these giant light shows.
Oh, no. That's
too much work?
My husband would love to do that, but yeah.
I say, you know what? I say let him. What's your husband's name?
It's James.
James, you have my permission to basically go all out at your house, but then again, you have to basically run that by Sarah. And I'm sure Mia would be all for it and, would want to, but James, you have my complete permission to do it, even though, like, if you want even more permission, I can send you a slip with my signature on it. But, Mia, well, so we know where your mom's passion for Christmas started. What about you? Did that come from your mom?
From my parents, really, and all my family, like my grandparents and everything, all love Christmas as well, and we go to see like Santas and everything.
So Mia, what is your favorite part about Christmas?
Well, we love watching movies all together and basically spending time with my family and like feeling like, I don't know, it's Christmas time has just got like a warm feeling, like a nice feeling about it.
Makes you happy.
Yeah.
It really does, and I figured that's why we have Christmas and holiday themed accounts on Instagram or any sort of social platform where we can feel that all year round, or at least that's my opinion of it, which is basically why I post all year. And by the way, you guys who are listening to this, follow my holiday themed and Instagram account on Facebook and Instagram at Leigh for the holidays. Follow Sarah and Mia at Festive Films as well. Sarah, do you have a favorite Christmas movie?
I think our favourite Christmas movies I've been talking to I've got 3 girls, so we've all been talking today about what our favourite Christmas movie is, and I think all of us agree it has to be Elf. With Will Ferrell, we absolutely love it. I think it's got a really good soundtrack, a really good story to it. We just all really enjoy it and watch it throughout the year.
Everybody says that, even though and I'm not throwing shade at Will Ferrell, so please, Mr. Ferrell, keep your lawyers at bay. I am not. I've never been a big fan of Will Ferrell myself, but even I have to. I will give him. I will give, I guess, the devil his due. I will give him his just desserts. Where I will say, you know what? Every holiday season, even though I try to avoid it, if I see Elf on TV or it's streaming on Netflix or one of the streaming services, even I will sit and watch
it. You've got to. It's got to be done.
It's one of those things. I mean, people have told me that they'll watch Elf in July. All right.
Yeah, that's us.
And all the power to you, because even I'll watch a Christmas movie in July. I'll watch them all year round. It doesn't really matter to me. Personally, my favorite Christmas film is Home Alone 2.
Oh yeah, that was good.
So that's the one where he gets lost in New York, and I was just like, oh, this is cool. I mean, I don't know. Have you guys ever been to New York or been outside of the UK?
Yeah, we went. My brother got married in New York the day before Christmas Eve, 10 years ago. So me and Mia went. My other 2 children wasn't born, and it was lovely. We went to Macy's to see Father Christmas, and yeah, it was lovely. Had lots of snow.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it snows a lot where you guys are out in England.
No.
No?
Not at all.
So does it rain a lot? I assume.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot.
So it's a lot more rain than it is snow there, eh?
Yeah, do you get a lot of snow in Canada?
We do. It depends on the time of year. It gets bitterly cold between January and March.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the snow comes between. It usually shows up mostly in February. Personally, myself, I can handle the cold, but if we had no snow for Christmas, I'd actually be really happy.
We would love snow for Christmas.
Yes.
If I can airmail it, I would. I would send it overnight. Well, no, personally, the reason I just don't like snow is because I have to use, we call them walkers here in Canada. I'm not sure. Basically, I'm disabled, right? I have a disability, and using a walker isn't in the snow. It's not built for snow, obviously.
Yeah.
So, and the amount that we get here, it's just astronomical. So, I mean, I've had days where 3 to 4 feet within a week or so.
Wow. We maybe get a snow flurry for a couple of hours. It doesn't really settle here.
It's basically like slush.
Yeah.
See, we get slush after all the cars run through it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It just turns to it's a complete mess. So if you guys want to trade addresses,
definitely. We've never been to Canada. We've got a family that lives somewhere in Vancouver, but we've never been.
Oh, Vancouver's lovely. I spent some time there when I was in high school, and granted, it wasn't in the later parts of the year. It was mainly in spring. But Vancouver is a lovely, lovely, lovely city. I mean, if I could go back, I would. It's basically like a major metropolis, but it has almost like a small town feel.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
I think it's one of the smaller Canadian cities, but it's absolutely gorgeous. It's so green and so sort of lush. Mia, you're in grade school still. Is there anything that your school does that you really look forward to around Christmas time?
Well, we're having a Christmas concert come up, and I'm in the drama and dance club, so I'm very excited to perform.
What are you guys performing at this Christmas concert?
Well, in dance we create a couple of pieces of dance and like perform it in front of the school. There's also lots of other clubs such as like music and everything, and they tend to play like song and Christmas carols and stuff.
So all the standard favorites, like say Jingle Bells and
Yeah.
yeah. Sarah, is there a favorite Christmas album in your family? Like, do you guys have a favorite artist or song that you really enjoy?
I'm not sure. I don't know if you've heard of him, Rod Stewart Christmas album. That's quite a good one.
I love that album, actually.
Michael Bublé, I love. Not everyone in my family enjoys that, but we quite like it. We like all like your traditional Christmas songs, Elvis Presley, a bit of everything really.
Like Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose if it's around Christmas, like Bing Crosby has to be a staple too.
Definitely.
We've gone through your favorite music and carols and movies. What about the food? So who does the cooking in the house around Christmas time?
Well, on Christmas Eve we go to my parents' house and we have like a big Christmas day really on Christmas Eve at my parents'. My brother comes over and his family have a big 3-course Christmas meal. Your normal Christmas pudding, turkey, pork, gammon, roast potatoes, stuffing, pigs in blankets, gravy. Open a few presents and then we come back home and get ready I start preparing your veg, your sprouts and everything for the next day. And then we just have the same really, but at home just us lot on Christmas Day, don't we, Mia?
Yeah.
I mean, and I suppose that's the best part about Christmas. Aside, I don't know, it may be the presents for some of you, but for me, and I assume for a lot of people, including yourselves, it's the food and the time with family.
Definitely.
When you go over to your parents' place, is there anything that you guys sort of reminisce on the year or certain memories of Christmas from years past?
Yeah, really. It's been a bit sad because like the tables got smaller every year, like we've lost grandparents and what have you. So we always, think about people that we've lost throughout the year and think about our memories from when we was children and stuff that we'd like to happen the following year. Play games, just have a laugh really, don't we? And it's nice, really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Christmas is. It's time with family. It's time with friends. The food is a plus because believe me, I can eat my share of it too.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you guys this. If either of you if your life was a Christmas movie, just constantly on a loop, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the rest of your lives, which one would you like it to be?
Oh my gosh, that's quite hard.
I don't know. I mean, Elf will be good because he travels a lot in it. Like he goes around the North Pole and New York and everything.
I quite like a lot of Hallmark movies, and they always have a happy ending. So a Hallmark movie would be quite nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm finding myself, I'm more of a fan of Hallmark Christmas films or Hallmark movies in general than I am of any sort of like giant blockbuster films, if you want to call them that, the ones that are released in theaters. So, I mean, for me, I'd actually have to tend to agree with you both because Elf would be a good one to basically have my life personally revolve around. I'm not sure if co-starring with Will Ferrell for the rest of my life would be something I'd be all keen for, but just the plot and like what happens in that movie would be something that I would enjoy, or maybe even like a Hallmark film, like your mom said there, Mia. Is there anything that you guys are looking forward to specifically this year?
Not really. We we love going around to our grandparents' house on Christmas Eve. Nothing really. Like we sometimes go to pantomimes and stuff, and go and see like Father Christmas and
Christmas markets and sample lots of different food
and like Christmas thing.
Like Christmas markets are a big thing around the world. I mean, I know because I'm in Toronto, Canada, so I know a lot of. One of the big things is our Christmas market every single year, and I think they kick off as of the recording in about a week or so.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking forward to it. Is there anything that you guys, if you go to a Christmas market, is there anything specifically that you're looking for, or is it just the food and the
food really?
basically what's the decorations to look at?
Oh yeah.
We like Christmas candles as well.
Yeah.
Like our house is full of like candles for every season, really.
And I'm assuming like you may have candles for every season, but Christmas is basically where your hearts are.
Yeah.
Definitely.
They live for Christmas every single year.
We've just got huge from big to small.
Yeah. Basically, today was cleaning day, and all my cleaning products are Christmas scented cleaning products. Our house smells like Christmas today.
So it smells like just a giant evergreen tree.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's so cool. When you guys are when you're decorating your tree, when do you normally put it up?
Around like near November.
Like next weekend.
Yeah.
We put it up.
Okay, so then like it looks like the middle of November then.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming everybody gets in on the act a little bit and puts, rolls up their sleeves, puts in a little elbow grease, and helps out with the decorating.
Me and my sisters also decorate our rooms as well. Like we put little Christmas trees in our room and decorate our room.
Oh, that's so cool. Is there anybody that's like designated to? I don't know if do you put the star on top of the tree?
We put an angel on top of our tree, but we have got like stars put on our tree.
You take it in turns every year, don't you? Daddy lifts you up and puts it on the tree.
Why not, right? That's the perfect way to kick off the season is to put your tree up. And is there a favorite decoration that either of you have?
We've got like a lot of Disney. Oh, I've got one that I got from New York, and it's like a candy fairy. Like I've always loved it. He's got like candies on everything.
I think it's is it the Candyland fairy? We got it from Toys R Us. There was like a special Candyland section.
And she's all like,
yeah. I think mine would have to be, we went on Polar Express a couple of years ago, and we've got a big ornament from that and some bells. So that's quite nice.
We've also got like a lot of Disney.
Yeah, Chip and Dale, they're my favourite Disney characters.
Like Mickey Mouse.
It's not very coordinated, our tree. Our tree's full of memories. We normally buy ornaments from wherever we go in the world, and the girls like hand make ornaments to go on the tree. It's just a very family oriented tree, really.
Yeah.
That sounds so cool. And I'm almost upset that James isn't here to join us. I mean, since you said that James pretty much loves Christmas as much, if not more so than you do, Sarah.
Yeah, this year he's on the hunt for a big nutcracker.
Yes, we've already got like a huge one, and we've seen a lot more huge.
Yeah, he wants a big life-size nutcracker to go on our front door.
He's a man after my own heart. Like, I want to move in now. Is there, I mean, we've talked music, we've talked movies, we've talked decorations, we've talked food. Is there anything specifically as we wrap up here that you guys are looking forward to, or like, is there a goal that you guys have set in mind for your Instagram account specifically, like at Festive Films?
Not really.
Not really. It's been quite nice because I've met so many people like along the way that like private message me, and I've got talking with loads of lovely
like
people from some from Ireland, like yourself from Canada, and one that lives not far away from us, which I would never have met if it weren't for Festive Films on Instagram. So it's lovely.
I suppose we're just gonna, like, you're just gonna continue to spread the joy and the wonder that is Festive Films and your love of Christmas, no matter where you go.
Definitely.
Yes.
Well, I want to thank you both for coming on the show, and it was a real pleasure to have you, and thank you for wanting to do the podcast. It was a lot of fun. Very quickly, before I let you guys go, tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
On Instagram.
On Instagram, really, it's just Festive Films. That's all we've got at the moment. I can't believe how much it's grown. Sort of the last week, it's just gone crazy, to be honest.
Well, that's how Instagram usually works. Because I'm surprised that even with my own Instagram holiday account, like within 2 weeks, I had 200 followers, and now I think I'm at 800 plus, and
Wow.
I just like I'm blown away by the love and joy that sort of Christmas brings, and of course I really enjoy Festive Films as well, because I mean you guys post some things on there that I probably would never have seen myself.
And it's really cool because like we get to like some people from the movie have actually like
Yeah,
commented.
It's been quite cool. There's like a couple of new films coming out which I've posted that I'm looking forward to, and a few of the actors that are actually in the films. There's one coming out called Claus, a young lad that's the main character has like messaged me, and there's another one from another animated film, Piney, and he's the Christmas tree, and he's like messaged me. So it's been amazing that they've actually seen my pictures that I've put on. It's, just wonderful.
It's always so nice when like somebody that from say like a film or somebody with sort of like name recognition recognizes something that they like and it's one of your posts.
And it's,
Yeah.
definitely.
Are you guys looking, because I'm looking forward to seeing this myself. I probably won't go on opening day even though I wanted to. It's this film with Henry Golding and Emilia Clarke, Last Christmas, that's coming out, I think, on Friday, because we're recording this on November 5th, and the film comes out on the 8th. So I'm looking forward to it. What are your opinions of that film?
I'm really looking forward to it. I think it will be. I hope it's quite a happy film. I don't like sad Christmas movies. I think it'll have a really good soundtrack 'cause it's based on Wham, George Michael, so I think it'll have a really, really good soundtrack to it. I'm not sure whether it's going to appeal to my younger two children, so that's the only downside about the film. I thought it'd be a really nice, happy family film, but I think it's going to be a bit more of a grown-up film, but I think it will be good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to it myself, and I can't wait to see it. And I thank you guys for both coming on the show and wanting to do the podcast. And thank you for being so honest, open, and eager to do the show. It was a real pleasure to have you. I suppose we will catch you both down the road. And if you guys are ever in Canada, you can hit me up and we can do another episode. If you ever want to come on and do another episode, just feel free to reach out. My inbox is always on and my door is always open, and you guys are always welcome here.
Oh, thank you ever
Thank
so
you.
much. Have a lovely Christmas.
You too. Merry Christmas to you and your family as well. But yeah, this wraps up another episode of the Beats and Speaks podcast. Thank you all for listening. That is Sarah and Mia of Festive Films on Instagram. Of course, you can follow them. I will link all of that stuff in the description below. But we will see you all again next week for a brand new episode of the Beats and Speaks podcast.
Well, there it is, and there you go. And of course, because we're getting close to Christmas, ho ho ho, my interview with Sarah and Mia of Festive Films on Instagram. Go follow them at festive_films. Link in the description. Sarah and Mia, thank you for coming on the show. It was a pleasure having you on. And if you ever want to come back, my inbox is always on, my door is always open, and you guys are always welcome here. It was a pleasure getting to chat with you, even to set up the interview. But to go back and forth with you when it comes to talking everything and anything Christmas, from your traditions, your favorite films, your favorite music, it was a total blast for me. I hope you guys really enjoyed yourselves, because I really loved having you both on the show. Of course, go follow Sarah and Mia and the rest of the Festive Films crew on Instagram at festive_films. Like I said, I will leave that link in the description. Go follow them. And I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday season. But if you want to be a future guest here on the Beats and Speaks podcast with me, yours truly, Leigh Dickey, please email me at leightdickey@gmail.com. Please do comment, like, share, and subscribe to the Beats and Speaks podcast on my official website, leightdickey.com, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, and your favorite podcast app and player of choice. Please do leave us reviews and rate us 5 stars on your favorite podcast app and player of choice. You can also leave reviews on my official website, leightdickey.com, by going to the Beats and Speaks podcast landing page, which I will link in the description. You can leave reviews as well on my official Facebook page, which is facebook.com/LeighTDickey. Follow me on social media on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Leigh T. Dickey. Of course, I will leave all those links in the description below. And again, if you ever want to be a guest on a future episode of the Beats and Speaks podcast, please email me at leightdickey@gmail.com, and we will set something up and go from there. Thank you all again for listening and enjoying this week's episode of the Beats and Speaks podcast. Please do comment, like, share, and subscribe. Find us on YouTube as well under Leigh Dickey TV, and I will see you all and talk to you all next Friday for a brand new episode of the Beats and Speaks podcast. Go follow my guests, Sarah and Mia of Festive Films on Instagram. Before I let you go, at festive_films, go do that now. And I will see you all and talk to you all next Friday for a brand new episode of the Beats and Speaks podcast. This has been another episode of the Beats and Speaks podcast. And of course, I've been your host, Leigh Dickey, and I will see you guys all and talk to you all next week. All right, have a good one, and we'll see you soon. Peace. Leigh T. Dickey.